Where my mental wealth builders at? Happy Friday, everybody. Put some dollar signs in the chat if you're happy that it is Friday and that you are glad to be back with the Live Rich Now 10-day transformation. Family, I need to apologize. I do not know what in the ham sandwich was going on yesterday with me and StreamYard and Facebook. And so I just decided I couldn't let the finale be a flop, y'all. I had to come back with some more energy, some more insight, some more empowerment for you to live rich now. I can't believe that we made it to day 10, and I hope that you were able to take into consideration some of the recommendations that were made. Are you ready to do away with regular degular and cut ties with complacency? Come ready to taste and see that you can grow your mental net worth exponentially? All you have to do is depart from the norm and refuse to conform and choose to be transformed. That's right. We have the strategies, we have the stories. We hope that you were stirred to start stacking those strategies into your mental wealth bank account. I want you to be able to make each day count. Count it all joy when you face trials and continue to fight for a rich life now because that is your birthright. So don't be confused or misled though. It doesn't happen overnight. And so that's what we need to address today as we talk about stacking versus slacking. We always want to talk about, oh, I'm going to start a new routine. Oh, I'm getting ready to do the 10-day transformation. And is, right? We get motivated and then something happens where we're off track. And I'm not saying that like, oh, y'all need to get y'all life together. I'm public enemy number one when it comes to inconsistency. But I have decided to fight for my right to live rich. I have decided to fight for my right to live rich by implementing what I know to be a helpful tool on my journey of transformation. Now, there was one book written by Mr. Darren Hardy called The Compound Effect. He posed a question. He said, you have two options. I can give you $3 million right now, or I can give you a penny and double that penny every day for the next 30 days. What would you choose? Most people, they hear that million and they like, yes, that's me. I want to get it. And most people, when they hear that penny, they like, pennies. But what he was able to demonstrate through the compound effect is that your net worth creeps up really slowly. Looks like nothing is happening. And then all of a sudden, there's this tipping point where the person who had 3 million, they dwindling down because they spending that 3 million. And the person who is slowly utilizing the compound effect at a certain point, they match up to the 3 million, then they surpass and go beyond to about, I think the number was 12 million. Nevertheless, it's kind of like the same concept of watching a pot boil. Did any of your old folks ever say, a watch pot don't never boil? What they're really trying to say is, don't be impatient. What happens when water boils is that there's a little bit of microscopic movement in the atomic particles of H2O. And that microscopic movement then gets a little bit faster, and the kinetic energy is rumbling and bumbling. But when you look at the pot, you don't see anything happen. There's momentum that's building, but you can't tap into it just yet. However, at a certain boiling point, the water starts to bubble, and then you can see the impact that that heat that's been present at the same temperature for all this time is now starting to cause the matter to shatter. And now we have bubbles, we have steam, and we have boiling. So I want you to think about what microscopic movements that you can begin to make to build momentum so that whatever the matter is that you need a breakthrough concerning will shatter as you start microscopically build momentum, and then just keep at that thing, trusting that the compound effect will be effectual in your life. Now I want to invite you to do a quick CSI investigation of your recent wealth building strategies. I want you to see if there is evidence of any of the following in your patterns and activities. We're going to start from the I and work our way up to the C. The I is insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly, expecting different results. Do you have any evidence of insanity in your life right now? The S is stupidity. Now, stupidity is a little bit different from insanity. Stupidity is doing several things randomly and being uncertain of the results that you're expecting. Is there any randomness, any stupidity that you can pick up and investigate that's occurring in your life? And then finally, the C is consistency. I hope that this 10-day transformation has inspired you to tap into consistency, doing the right thing repeatedly, being certain of remarkable results. Do you want the C, the S, or the I? Now, if you want the C, I want to help you by giving you a little insight from Mr. James Clear, who wrote the book Atomic Habits. Now, if you did not know, the brain is neuroplastic, meaning that it can change over time with repeated insults that create new neural connections in the brain. Okay? So, the same way that faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing, fruit comes by doing and doing and doing and doing. And as you do and do and do, you create new neural connections that will consolidate and concretize the habits so that it becomes like second nature, automatic. So, what you need to do is hitch the wagon of an existing no, hitch the wagon of your new habit to an existing habit. And I want you to understand that when we talk about coping skills and strategies for depression and anxiety and panic, oftentimes we are taught, why don't you just do some deep breathing and use your coping skills? Unfortunately, that does not work. Crisis and crunch time is not the time to practice coping skills. If you implement daily practices that will then be consolidated into automatic responses, you have a much higher likelihood of being able to utilize your coping skills. So, how does the habit stacking work? For example, I learned I should take cold showers every day in order to decrease the likelihood that I would have panic attacks. Well, guess what? Good news. I already take showers every day. So I decided I would start my shower with 30 seconds to 1 minute of cold water bursts and then turn it to hot. I really love a hot shower, but I want to start this new habit of taking cold showers. So I hitch my cold shower wagon to the caboose and the train of my old shower routine. You can do this with any habit that you want to establish, be it strolling, be it scribing, be it serving. Just do a little bit more of what you're already doing in a different way. And before long, you will have a consolidated routine. You will be consistent, not stupid or insane. And guess what? We here at the Mental Wealth Tree are not going to leave you to your own devices. We want you to stay tuned because we have some more support and more empowerment coming your way. And we have it right now. First, I want to welcome to the screen Miss Shay affectionately known as Nurse Shay, our master educator. What's up, Nurse Shay?
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm well.
Good. So I have a question for you. How have you been enjoying the 10-day transformation?
I have really enjoyed it. I've learned some strategies that I've already started practicing.
Ooh.
The young lady, the wise young lady who talked to us about scripting,
Mhm.
I actually did the scripting in my head while I was in the shower, and then I transferred that mental scripting to my journal to save me some time because I was trying to get to sleep. But
Okay, I have a question.
Mhm.
Would you say, did you already have the journal or did you go out and get a
No,
journal?
I already had the journal because I see a cute journal, has a catchy saying on it in Ross or somewhere, and oh, it's only $3.99. I buy it. I have several journals, some with maybe 1 or 2 pages that I've already started and then stop. You know how we do, we start and we stop. But I'm setting intentions like I learned from our master executor. So I'm trying to be intentional with my schedule and how I can put these practices in each day.
One more question. How would you say that you can apply habit stacking? You just learned the concept of habit stacking, which is I already do this one thing. So, how can you incorporate the practice of habit stacking into your journaling routine? Like, are you going to put the journal next to your lotion because you always put lotion on before you go to bed? And then before you put on the lotion, you're going to journal and then put on your lotion? Or are you going to, how are you going to set that up?
Well, I think I may, instead of having the journals packed away, first of all, saving them for the perfect time to use them, I'm going to have it out visible on my nightstand.
Okay.
So that when I'm doing my mental, what do I want to get out today in the shower, then I'm prepared before I get into bed to grab my journal, script a little while, and move forward from there. And hopefully we'll see how it works.
Okay, I can't wait to have you back on to share with us how much your life and your mental have been enriched by your transformative scripting strategy.
I can't wait either.
Yes. Okay. And guess what, y'all? See, I told y'all we had to run that back. Yesterday, we were kind of shaky with our finale, but we got another special guest here. We have the executive success consultant in the building, y'all. Put some dollar signs in the chat. Put some dollar signs in the chat. Okay, so I have pretty much the same questions for you. How have you been enjoying this 10-day transformation experience?
I have really enjoyed it. So to be honest with you, I was like, I don't know. But after I started listening and participating, have really enjoyed it and have really been able to gain some new information and skills that's going to help me along my mental health journey.
Okay. So do you have a favorite skill out of all the ones that we've covered so far?
Yes, I like the strolling.
Ah.
Yes. So when I think about what you were talking about as far as stacking things that you already do, I do run, I walk, do exercise. And so prior to this, my whole thing with running was just to free my mind, just to not think about anything, not just time just to make my mind free. But if I think about supplication and the fact that he said that he will keep us in perfect peace if our mind is stayed on him.
Yes, yes.
So as part of my time when I'm running now, I'm going to also be using that time as prayer time and supplication time as part of my habit stacking.
Oh, so we're going to stack two strategies. I like it. I like it.
Mhm.
So I have another question.
Yes.
Because you have been so informative and just excellent here with us during this 10-day transformation, would you be willing to come back and participate if we were to do, some more strategy sessions, some roundtable discussions where we can actually involve all of the people who have been supporting and watching? Would you be willing to do that?
Definitely. Of course I would.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
yes,
So we
yes.
got one member of the team consolidated. Let me go back over here and check in with Nurse Shay. Okay, Nurse Shay. We can't just leave the mental wealth tree just with these undeveloped fruit. So would you, my sister, be willing to come back and join us again as we think about how we want to engage our family, support them, cheer them on, empower them, be an accountability crew for them? Would you be willing?
Yes,
Yes?
I most definitely would. Where the dollar signs for
All right.
support.
Throw the dollar signs for support in the chat. Okay, family. Well, it is time for us to say goodbye, but not for long. Stay tuned because Live Rich Now is coming back soon. Y'all have a fantastic weekend. Start putting those strategies into place and be healthy, be wealthy, be well always, and live rich now. All right.